Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at lesson 8. So lesson 8 is looking at solving and creating our own equations based off of all the knowledge that we've ever learned so far and really implement them into real life problems or scenarios that we see between different words, numbers, and visual representations and different questions that you might have. So there's always going to be a 4-step problem solving strategy. So I want you to always think about the problem and understand what is going on. I want you to make a plan accordingly. So what is it being asked? What are we looking for? And always organize your notes like that. And then carry out the plan. Always show all your steps. This is so important in order to get full marks. And then look back. Always check your answers. Is your answer reasonable? Is it fully complete? Am I answering all the steps that is needed? So for our question here, it says Sam makes rectangular paving stones that are 10 centimeters longer than they are wide. So that is some useful information that we will need. So the first step here says determine a simplified formula for the perimeter in terms of x. Don't forget to include all 4 sides because it is going to be a rectangular paving stone. And it says simplify your formula as much as possible. So this is going to be really important. We need to simplify our formula to be in the lowest form possible. So it says it is 10 centimeters longer than they are wide. So we're going to say let W be the width. And then we're going to say let X be the perimeter. Okay, so they said the one side, which is the longest side, is 10 centimeters longer than it is wide. So this side would be W, and then the other side would be 10 centimeters longer. So it's going to be plus 10. So given this formula, we always have it going to be X and our W. So X is going to be our perimeter. So then we're going to keep that on one side. So we can write this formula in 2 different ways, okay? We can either write it because we are doing perimeter, so that's side plus side plus side plus side, or we can write it as 2, because we're going to multiply it by 2. We're going to have 2 brackets, W plus 10, bracket plus W. Okay, so we can have it that way, or we can write it as X equals 2W, which is for our one side. We're going to cover this side and this side with just this expression here, plus 2 bracket W plus 10. Okay, so either way, that is going to be our expression. Then we need to simplify this. So we're going to keep our 2W and then 2W plus 10. So we're going to expand. So it's going to be 2W plus 20. And then we're going to solve it as X equals 4W plus 20. Okay, so either or, we just need to make sure our expression is as simplified as possible. So this is what our equation would be. Remember, as always, perimeter is going to be 2 bracket length plus width. Okay, so that is why we used our equation like that. Now it says for B, use your simplified formula to calculate the perimeter when the width is 6.5 centimeters. So given this information, we're just going to literally plug it back in. So we had our equation, which is X equals 4W plus 20. And then we're just going to plug in our W. So always keep it in bracket, 6.5 plus 20. So 4 times 6.5 is 26 plus 20. So therefore, X is going to be equal to 46 centimeters. Do not forget this unit. Oops. Oops. Do not forget this unit. I don't know why I didn't click it. This unit is so important, so do not forget it. C, determine the formula for the area. So area, we know area is going to be equal to length times width. So now we're going to be using it in terms of X. Okay, so X is going to be our answer. So length, we know one length was W, and that's going to be times our width, which is literally W plus 10. And then in order to expand that and simplify, it's going to be W to the power of 2, because W times W is w to the power of 2 plus 10w. And then D, use your simplified formula to calculate the area when the width is 10 centimeters. So using that formula of x equals w to the power of 2 plus 10w, and we're literally just plugging in 8 into our w's. So 8 to the power of 2 plus 10 to the power of 8, 64 plus 80. So x is going to be equal to 144 centimeters. And then don't forget the squared at the very top. That is so important when we're doing area. So that is how we solve and given our expression. So we're going to continue on. So this is going to be very valuable lessons that you're going to always use. So Owen and Haley serve food at different restaurants on a cruise ship. Their earnings are based on their tips, but they also need to pay for their room and the board. So that means their accommodations. Owen and Haley work the same number of tables each week. So we have Owen versus Haley. Owen makes $160 per table. Haley makes $220 per table, but the room and board, Owen's is less. It's $125 per week, and Haley's is $160 per week. So we're going to write a polynomial expression to represent Owen's weekly earnings after he pays for room and board. So we're going to start with Owen first. So always define what our variables are. So we're going to say let x represent the number of tables. And then we're going to say let y represent weekly earnings. And we're going to use the same expression for Haley's as well, because this is just Owen's. So given this information, we're going to say y, that is our weekly earnings that we want to solve. The number of tables is always changing, so that is our x. So using our y equals mx plus b, our 160x plus it's going to be minus 125 is going to be our expression for Owens. Why it is minus? Because this is how much money he makes after he pays his room and board. So we're not adding 125, we're subtracting 125 because that's after he pays for it. Same sort of thing for Haley's. So it's going to be y equals 220x minus 160, and that is our two expressions for Haley and Owen. Now, it says write a single polynomial simplified in order to show their combined earnings. So combined means that we're going to add. So given our two expressions, y equals 160x minus 125 plus, we're adding them together, 220x minus 160. We're going to isolate and move our constants together and our variables together. So 160x plus 220x minus 125 minus 160. And we're going to add or subtract them together. 160 plus 220 is 380x. Negative 125 minus 160 is going to give us negative 285. So this is our formula for the both of them together. Okay, so pretty simple and straightforward. Just it's going to be really important to break things up. Excuse me. So now, based off of this question here, example 3, I want you to try this out on your own. Okay, I want you to make sure that you go step by step, write your equation, don't forget to define your variables, and then solve the equation. Don't forget to use your inverse operations to solve, and then verify your solution. So verify your solution, it means left side to right side. Does it equal that? Okay, so I want you to try this out now. Figure it out. So pause right now. Okay, so defining our variables, you should have defined them already, but our expression is 1.25x plus 5,000. I'm not going to write all of the steps out, but in this situation, we want to see 10,000 earnings, so the 10,000 goes on the one side, And then, so x is going to be equal to 4,000. Then you should have shown all your steps in this equation to get x equals 4,000. Left side equals right side. It does. So therefore, x equals 4,000. Oops, that's 40,000. 4,000. Oops. Can't type. 4,000 is the solution. So you should have been able to figure that out based off of the previous example. Please make sure you check your work. And if you have any questions, let me